Hi, welcome to the lesson on parallel and perpendicular lines. So this lesson will be comparing slopes of parallel lines and perpendicular lines. So let's go ahead and begin. Okay, so if you have two different lines that have the same slope, they are said to be parallel. So they're lines that look like this. Whereas if you have two different lines that intersect, forming four right angles, they are perpendicular, so they look like this. Okay, so what we're going to do here is determine if slopes are the same, perpendicular, or neither. All right, and so if you have lines that look like this, like I said, they're parallel lines. That means they have the same slope. Whereas if you have perpendicular lines, that means their slopes are negative reciprocals of each other. So knowing that, let's go ahead and begin with some example problems. So for the first example, let's start off with something a little bit easy. We're going to find the slope of a line that's perpendicular to 6x minus 2y equals 1. And so just remember that this is your standard form. And in order to determine the slope of a line that's perpendicular to this, we have to turn it into y equals mx plus b form, or slope intercept form. So let's go ahead and rewrite the line. So we have 6x minus 2y is equal to 1. So what we're going to do is isolate y. So the first step in doing so is subtracting 6x from both sides. So we have negative 2y, which is equal to negative 6x plus 1. So now we need to divide by negative 2, which is the coefficient on y. We're going to do that for each term here. All right, cancel. So we are left with y equals negative 6 divided by negative 2 is 3. So 3x minus 1/2. So our slope here is 3. So remember, we need to find the slope of the line that's perpendicular. So that means we need to find the negative reciprocal of 3. And the negative reciprocal of 3 is negative 1/3. Because notice when you multiply both slopes together, it will give you negative 1. So 3 times negative 1/3 is equal to negative 1, simply because the 3's cancel, right? Okay, so that's what the negative reciprocal of 3 is, negative 1/3. Okay, so let's go over some more examples here. So for the second example, we need to actually turn both lines into slope-intercept form to determine if they're parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So let's go ahead and do that, okay? And let's see, we'll rewrite this. X minus 2y equals negative 3. So we're going to actually isolate y. So we're going to subtract x on both sides. So we have negative 2y equals negative x minus 3. Okay, so we're going to divide by the coefficient on y, which is negative 2. Okay, so we have y is equal to, and if this confuses you, you can place a 1 right there, but this is 1/2 x plus 3/2. Okay, so far we have our first slope, which is 1/2. And let's go ahead and turn this into slope intercept form as well. So we have 4x minus 6y is equal to 5. So we're going to subtract 4x on both sides here. Okay, so we have negative 6y equals negative 4x plus 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and divide here by negative 6. So we have y equals, and we have negative 4 divided by negative 6. So this will equal 2/3 x when simplified minus 5/6. So if you take a look at both slopes here, they're not the same and they're not negative reciprocals of each other. So that means it's neither. Okay? So let's go over another example. Okay, so for example 3, we're going to do the same thing. So we have 2x plus 4y is equal to 6. Subtracting 2x from both sides. So we have 4y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. Divided by 4. 4 is canceled, so we have y equals, and simplifying is negative 1/2 x plus 3/2. So far we have our slope of negative 1/2. So let's go ahead and rewrite this to slope-intercept form. So we have 6x plus 12y equals negative 2. So let's see here, we're going to subtract 6x. So we have 12y equals negative 6x minus 2. Divide by 12. So we have y equals negative 1/2 x minus 1/6. So notice both slopes are alike, or they're the same. So that means the two lines here are actually parallel. Okay? So if you were to graph these lines right here, they'll look like this. Okay? All right, so let's go over one last example. So for the last example, we have negative 3x plus 4y equals 8. So let's rewrite that. Okay, so we're going to add 3x on both sides. So we have 4y equals 3x plus 8. Okay, we're going to divide by the coefficient on y, which is 4, to each term here. So we have y equals 3/4 x plus 8 divided by 4 is 2. Okay, so far we have a slope of 3/4. And let's go ahead and rewrite this line into slope-intercept form as well. So we have negative 4x minus 3y is equal to 12. So adding 4x to both sides. Okay, the negative 4x plus 4x cancels. We have negative 3y equals 4x plus 12. Okay, so we're going to divide by negative 3. Okay, so this is equal to y equals negative 4/3 x minus 4. Okay, so notice the slopes are negative reciprocals of each other, right? So we have 3/4 and we have negative 4/3. And so that means that the product of their slopes is negative 1, right? So when we multiply 3/4 times negative 4/3 is equal to negative 1, right? Because the 4's cancel, the 3's cancel. Okay, and if you were to graph these lines, it'll look something like this. Just a rough estimate. Okay, So that's all we have for this lesson. Hopefully it was helpful to you, and I look forward to working with you in the next lesson. Take care.